Hey guys, welcome back, WoodwardSports.com. Lamar Jackson, the story of the day. He puts out on Twitter that he has requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens organization. Did so on March 2nd. That's 25 days ago. And crickets since that time. Now, what leverage does Lamar Jackson have, if any, to be honest with you? Because the Baltimore Ravens essentially called him on his bluff and said, we will allow you to sign the non-exclusive franchise tag. You go out and get the deal that you want, and he hasn't got one offer yet. I think he's doing this to put public pressure on the Ravens organization to get him out of there. That's the only reason, because Lamar Jackson's going to need a little bit of help here because he has no leverage outside of saying, hey, I'm not going to play football next year. And Lamar Jackson isn't on a third or fourth contract. He didn't already get paid. So are you really not going to play for $35 million next year?
No.
I mean, and if the answer is no, the answer is no. But this seems to be a very tricky situation right now because around the league, and I don't know this is just my opinion because of the lack of assumed interest in Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of friends right now. So today's price is not yesterday's price. So this is a really, really tricky spot for Lamar Jackson. I am a fan of his. Wouldn't mind seeing him here in Detroit. But this is one storyline. I am almost putting the Lamar Jackson storyline in the same camp is the Aaron Rodgers. Two storylines I'm just totally sick of.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely sick of both storylines, but this is what we do. This is what we have to talk about. You know, just when you're like, hey, you know what? That's easy on Lamar Jackson stuff today. Boom. He shoots out the tweet, so we got to talk about it. It is a very tricky spot. You know, one thing about the NFL, like, unless you're just a mega talent, like, unless you're, you know, that Nick Bosa, or unless you're Patrick Mahomes, or you're Josh Allen, like, just because you're good doesn't mean you're going to get paid. It's not necessarily about you being that good. It's when you come up. It's what the team looks like when you're ready to sign. Like, what are the situations? Who's coming up next year? What are you drafting this year? And I think Lamar Jackson falls, like, into that. Like, it's just a bad situation for him. But I don't know what's going to happen with this situation. Like, you want to say, oh, you know what? It'll happen. He'll get paid, or somebody will pick him up. It's not looking good. And then if no one picks him up around him, he's not going back to Baltimore. Like, that situation is over. So now here you're Baltimore. You got Lamar Jackson on your team. You owe him, what, $37 million. And he's not going to play for you. Now you run the risk of him just retiring and sitting out. It's an ugly situation and an interesting, weird situation for both. Because I can see Lamar Jackson just – because in today's – like society, you can make money a bunch of different ways. Like, guys can go different routes or whatever. He just seems like the type of individual, like, if it doesn't go right, like, he'll stand on his pride. He'll stand on wanting to, this is what I deserve. This is what was owed to me. You want to treat me like this? I don't need this game.
Let me ask you, Brian, can he do this? If worse comes to worse and he doesn't get traded, he'll say, okay, I'll sign the tender. You owe me X amount of dollars this year.
$35 million.
Then he goes to training camp, and he feigns an injury.
Nah, because then they'll have a case against him and they can sue him. It'll be kind of like the same.
Yeah, but what's to say what hurts him and I can't play?
Because
I can't. Oh, mental illness.
Well,
pull the Ben Simmons out.
Well, that one thing about that is this ain't the NBA. Like, the NFL.
That's why I'm asking.
And no, the NFL ain't going for that. The NFL takes care of theirs, and what I mean by theirs is their owners. If Lamar Jackson tried to, let's say Ben Simmons was faking, wink, wink.
He's out for the year, by the way.
Yeah, 100%.
Get out of here.
Man, he's still collecting the bag. Yeah. So, there's only 7 games left, though. But
he was out like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, like the NBA, like, they don't have any power over those players. Like, Ben Simmons says, I got mental health. He's got mental health. They're going to pay him. The players own that league. You can't try that SHIT in the NFL. It don't work like that. They're going to put you through 1 million doctors, all on the owner's payroll. They're going to say, all right, why do you have mental health? Take me through the steps. How did you get here? If I was
I'm just scared to
and
play.
Not only that, but I'll tell you, not only that, but this isn't about $35 million. I don't think Lamar Jackson. Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly right.
I know, but I want my money.
I know, but he's not getting his money if he's out there faking injuries and not playing.
Yeah.
No owner in their right mind is going to pay a guy $200 million that's out here faking injuries and not playing for his team.
And you know what, Matt? You just said something, and Ryan, this triangle conversation, like it kind of let me thought about something else. The owners know that Lamar Jackson was on that BS the last 5 games of the season. And what I mean by BS is they effed him during not paying him. But like Ryan Ermanni said, well, don't step on the field before the season starts. Don't wait until December.
What I said.
Don't wait until December to now all of a sudden take a stance. And I'm not trying to be critical of Lamar Jackson. I'm just being honest in what I see.
He should have taken my advice.
1,000%. And now owners see that. Like, owners see that. The owners that know what happened, which is all in, like, I mean, I get it. I understand it. He's mad. He's upset. They played him, but he just quit on his team. Like, I'm not, like, that's not a guy I'm giving up 2 first-rounders for. That's not, like, even though he's this amazing kid and we know he's a leader, we know he's a guy that comes in the locker room that, like, people respect and love and he's about ball. They just watched him quit on a team that was going to make the playoffs. I don't want him on my team. This is me playing devil's advocate.
But he gets a brand new start.
But at the same time, that is in your DNA. Like that is in your DNA. You're not your worst moments, so you're not your biggest mistakes, but they're still in your DNA.
You know, the one thing, and Braylon, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. But the one thing you have to be, if you're going to get paid in the NFL, in my opinion, you have to be somewhat stable. People have to view you as stable. And right now, the Lamar Jackson thing feels like a sideshow. He, whether it's his mom negotiating for him, whether he's negotiating for him, whether the league is sending out, don't negotiate with this person alleging that they're representing Lamar Jackson, to now the tweet, to the franchise tag, to the fake injury or whatever it was last year, whether it wasn't fake or not. He didn't play, the way that communication went. It feels like a little bit of a sideshow, and teams are not going to give up 2 draft picks. Teams are not going to give you $150 million guaranteed if they don't believe they can trust you, if they don't believe you are not going to be a high drama person. And that's really, right or wrong, that's really kind of where it's trending here with Lamar Jackson. And it's sad because I feel like a lot of this is extremely avoidable.
Yeah, the 4 majors, like the guys that get paid, like they're supreme talent, they're elite talent, they're the highest talent, and also they had that stability. Look, players are basically their own corporations. They're their own CEOs. Like, you want to have a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Like, not only is Patrick Mahomes a great quarterback, the best quarterback in the league by far, not only is he that, he's always there. Doesn't do much. He's in Kansas City. He's building with his team. Guys like that, they're viewed, like you said, as stable. Those are the guys that get the long deals. Those guys, a lot of times, get
Matthew Stafford.
100%. Well, you know he was going to be here. Like, you didn't know if he was ever going to win a playoff game, but you knew he was going to be available. Like,
I thought he was.
You knew he was going to be available. You knew he was going to. He's a quiet personality. You can trust him. Teams want players that they can trust. If I'm giving up $250 million, I got to be able to know that everything is good. I can't have any doubts. That's a great point.
I don't think you can do this story, though, and not talk about where Lamar Jackson is going to play next. And, because of the talent, because he's a 26-year-old former MVP of the league, you have to look at it. You would be doing a disservice to your organization if you don't at least look at it. And as the odds makers in the NFL or the odds makers in Vegas look at it, look where those Lions are. The Detroit Lions have the 4th best odds on PointsBet Sportsbook to get the services of Lamar Jackson. And it's not like some going far and away leader in the clubhouse. The Colts, plus 225. The Patriots are next, plus 450. Then you have the Falcons at plus 600 and the Lions at plus 650.
He would scare the daylights at him if he went to the Patriots. And I'm not saying they have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You got Lamar Jackson. You
might even be the perfect spot for him, to be honest with you. Might even be the perfect spot for him.
You got Belichick.
Yeah, you get Lamar Jackson to the New England Patriots. You can find some wins. You can find some talent. Like, the one thing about it is, I think Lions fans, like, because they're so on Jared Goff.
Lions fans.
They're so on Jared Goff, like us. Like, Jared Goff, and last year you played well, and I got some stuff to that as well. But every time you bring up Jared Goff, like, everybody, Lamar Jackson. Don't bring him in. No, that's not. We don't want Lamar Jackson. We got Jared Goff. Let me play devil's advocate for you right now. When you have a quarterback, you in terms of winning a championship, like Patrick Mahomes or these guys, you winning the championships. You got to have a quarterback that you feel can win you games if he needs to in a pinch. Like Jared Goff, you give him a good offensive line, you give him some time in the pocket, you give him a good system, you give him a wide receiver that's very dependable, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, you give him a couple, play actions here and there, you get the ball down the field, he's great. But Jared Goff, he hasn't proved anything on the road. He hasn't proved offensively on the road that he can dominate. He's not a guy that I believe can go out and win you a game by himself. I'm talking about when your receivers are banged up, the running back is having a little bit of case of fumbleitis. He's out there leading. He's taking you to war. He's the guy that's going to win the game. If Lamar Jackson signed with the Detroit Lions, he instantly, this is the outside public's review, he instantly makes your team better. He instantly makes you better by 3 to 4 wins. Like his winning percent is 75% win since he's been a starting quarterback in the NFL. I will say that again, 75% win total since he's been a starting quarterback in the NFL. You know his elusiveness. You know the shock value that the fans get, and you know he's a leader. And you know that he's there. And you know he's getting better. Every year he works with that quarterback coach out there in California. Every year he spends a little bit more time with him. He instantly makes your team better. Your odds instantly change to win the NFC Championship, to even get to the Super Bowl. That's why they have him at 4 on that points bet, because everybody on the outside sees what the Lions can be. The Lions on the inside, though, we see Jared Goff, and we can't look at that.
Here's the question every NFL